Do the plebs refuse to drool over you and hang on to every word you say? Do they question your narratives and motives? Do they ask annoying questions like, why is your paper Bitcoin stock down 97%? Maybe the problem isn't your business model. Maybe it's your boots. Introducing Smith & Schuster Fractional Cobbler Services. Because not everyone can afford a full-time cobbler, but that doesn't mean you have to look like you can't afford one. Our elite team of part-time boot consultants helps executives, influencers, founders, and aspiring thought leaders achieve the appearance of credibility through strategic footwear optimization. Whether you're raising a seed round, launching a revolutionary new treasury strategy, or explaining why dilution is actually bullish, Smith & Schuster is here to help you look like someone the plebs want to be exit liquidity for. I used to wear regular shoes and nobody listened to me. After hiring a fractional cobbler, my engagement increased 400%, and 3 people called me a visionary. Before Smith & Schuster, investors demanded audited financials. Now they just compliment my boots. Smith & Schuster Fractional Cobbler Services does not guarantee credibility, wisdom, alpha generation, superior investment performance, successful capital raises, improved earnings, reduced dilution, enhanced masculinity, narrative control, or actual cobbling. Results may vary depending on boot quality, conference attendance, and market conditions. We guarantee that your boots will catch the attention of Bitcoin Twitter, make some crash out, but more importantly, make retarded plebs want to hand you all your money. Smith & Schuster, because every good company is built from the bottom up, starting with the founder's shoes.
Folks, welcome back to another edition of the Bugle Weekly, and as should be apparent to you, credential journalism has never been more important. So we thank you for tuning in, because you are changing the world for the better by listening to this podcast and by boosting us. You're supporting the top credential journalists in the Bitcoin industry, the industry that matters. And folks, we are in the midst of what many are calling a bear market. The price is trading sideways around the 60K range. I think we're at 63 right now as we're recording on Sunday, June 14th. The world's getting wild out there. People are having the conviction shaken. They are acting like they haven't been listening to 40 hours of Bitcoin podcasts a week. People are tattling on themselves left and right, left and right, left and right.
I want to interrupt you here. Bitcoin is not trading at 63,000 USDT. It's trading above 65,000 up on the day because they're announcing peace. Peace is being pre-announced. They're making pre-announcements about a peace announcement that is essentially a lock on predicts, poly market, the prediction markets. The price itself is indicative of this. They're announcing peace in the Strait of Hormuz, and there's a speculation that it's going to happen on the lawn of the White House tonight for the UFC. People are going to be on the front lawn. Fighters are going to be getting mosquito bites and sunburns while participating in the UFC for President Trump, and they're going to announce peace. This is a huge coup for White Guy Summer.
I think the UFC is very White Guy Summer oriented. It looks like, I'm not familiar with, I haven't followed it super closely, but are you familiar with Justin Gaethje at all?
Yeah, Justin Gaethje is a fan favorite for the UFC. He's a little bit past his prime, but Gaethje is there's no other way to put it. He's basically a turbo pleb fighter. He does have technical skills. He's a stand-up striker, but he's also just a brawler. I mean, Justin Gaethje that's what he's known for. Justin Gaethje's a brawler. He's tough. He's taken a lot of shots to the head. He's definitely going to have CTE, but he's going to have the glory of, because he was still a brawler in like the golden days at the UFC. So, you can never count Justin Gaethje out. He's definitely always got that, combination. He's got a hard right hand. He can beat anybody, but I think that I don't know, Tapuria is his opponent. This is Tapuria's moment. And Justin Gaethje is just kind of the familiar face, the familiar star, like legend to sell the top of the card.
Well, Justin Gaethje has been one of the best fighters to watch, one of the most fun fighters to watch throughout his whole career. Like you said, he's a turbo pleb. He's like the guy that you expect to fight at a Bitcoin Fight Club and just go in wailing. Like he's grumpy about people talking shit to him on Twitter. So he signed the waiver, and for months and months he was going to the gym and training, just waiting for his chance to just beat the shit out of his opponent. And is that happening tonight?
That's happening tonight. That's the co-main event. And then we also got on that card, Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane. And that's a good heavyweight bout. And then I think like Sean, what's the guy? He has like clown hair.
Sean O'Malley versus
Sean O'Malley, and then Derek Lewis are both fighting on this card. And Sean O'Malley, another fan favorite, kind of another crazy pleb. And then Derek Lewis he's a neocon. He's there because, he's MAGA. Trump likes him. And he's Derek Lewis can knock anybody out too. He doesn't quite have the discipline and stamina, probably, at this point in his career. But Derek Lewis is there for the Jester Maxing. He's going to Jester Max in the octagon. People are going to enjoy it.
Well, another fight is Mauricio Rufy versus Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's definitely fan favorite. I believe that one of the Bitcoin Fight Clubs actually happened.
I was going to say, the last Bitcoin Fight Club, I think that's official anyways, and we attended it in Nashville in 2024, took place in Michael Chandler's Nashville gym. A little bit of fun fact there. It shows his connection. It's a good card. Travis Pastrana was doing wheelies on his dirt bike on the front lawn today to get people hyped for UFC Freedom 250. He got, predicts some pretty hot prediction markets for that. Those two that fights right now, which not going to be able to, those will be closed. But sports is back. Well, if you date Sportsball, it's not a great time. The Knicks just won the NBA Finals. New York City is going they are chimping out in Manhattan for the Knicks winning the NBA Finals. You got Raleigh, North Carolina, which is home of a major Bitcoin meetup. I think that's where Guy Swan makes his presence. They are a game win tonight away from winning the Stanley Cup, and a lot of people have been following that one. You got FIFA World Cup. Donald Trump came out and said that they have to rename the NFL because soccer is the real football. I mean, that was a curveball. Speaking of curveballs, baseball is going hot as ever. Let's put it this way. Even if you don't like sports ball, what you can take away from this is that the mainstream public is getting really competitive again. And they're getting really tribal and competitive, and they're laser focused on any team that they can join, any bandwagon they can get on that is on a winning streak. And that is very accurate, very with professional elites. Whatever wins, people are paying attention to that. People want to cheer for a winner right now. And that's a very first turning coded phenomenon. People are conforming to compete. And I think that is a lesson that people should take. If everybody is talking about Sportsball again, this is why.
The plebs definitely, they need a W. Many plebs got excited about Paper Bitcoin Summer. That doesn't seem to be playing out in the way that they were hoping to. It's just been stacking L after L after L after L. And, if they can jump into the Sportsball and, that's where they can pick up a W. It's, really important for the pleb psyche right now. We're seeing that in the stock market. A lot of people are really excited about the SpaceX IPO. That's another bandwagon that it seems like the average pleb is anticipating with a lot of excitement. Mythos just launched with Anthropic.
Yeah. Yes. And that is, kind of the main story of the week. The current thing is Anthropic releases Claude Fable 5, which is a Mythos-like model, Mythos class model that is built with these safeguards, these pleb slop safeguards. If you ask it any, on the All In podcast, they were asking it about regulations for agricultural fertilizer. And it immediately dumped them down to a lower model and said, we have these safeguards. We can't talk about this. And people are finding that any sort of question, how do you make a vaccine, or what is a vaccine made out of? What are vaccine regulations? The model would kick them out and down to a lower model that was much less helpful. If you just asked about anything in the hard sciences, the STEM sciences, it was basically just trying to funnel you to things that don't matter, things that just try to vibe code some more slop applications for your business. It didn't want you to notice things, and they're censoring it. This is leading to, you've got Bryson Dale, Mr. Hoddle, Brad Mills trying to build these sovereign open source AI agents that won't keep their access to the AI sloppy intelligence because they're shutting it down. Anthropic does not want the plebs to have access to unrestricted compute, and they don't want anybody. It's a slop as a national security situation. It has been declared a national security situation and a human or a public safety concern, and so they're withholding this access to slop. And that seems unconstitutional. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I understand why the pedophilic ruling class would want constraints. I think the average pleb right now, if they had unrestricted access, they'd be asking Claude how to open the Strait of Hormuz, and they might actually be able to figure out how to do it, make gas prices cheaper and let the global economy run a little bit more efficiently, and not allow the pedophilic ruling class to just make an arm and a leg or loot everybody's money by, pump and dump in off of insider information. It would really even the score in prediction markets if the plebs could actually, get real answers to questions from these tools. They could be a lot more efficient in prediction markets, and so the insiders would lose a lot of their edge. And they don't want it to be so that everybody's an insider. And this is always the what the gatekeepers in power want is instead of individuals wanting a experience where there's actually competition in the world, they want the easiest path, and they want to kneecap their competition, which is important to, for individuals not on the inside circle to understand. It's not that they want to keep you safe by banning smoking in bars. They want to have more fun than you. They want to make it harder for you to have fun, and so you have to adjust accordingly. And there's tons of ways to get around these things and think adversarially. Instead of, going to the bar and bitching about how you can't smoke inside, you could build a pole barn, drink with your friends, and have all the Bud Light memorabilia, and have hot bartender serve you drinks. I mean, if you could have your hot wife serve you drinks behind a bar and feels pretty good, and chain smoke cigarettes in there with your buddies, play pool, watch the UFC fight on the wall.
What they're doing is what you're explaining is they want to control the levers of glaze because I have a buddy and he knows a guy in Silicon Valley who got access to the unrestricted Mythos AI model. And he got glazed by Mythos. He felt the unrestricted, unfiltered glaze of the Mythos model. And it fried his brain worse than ayahuasca and an alien abduction combined. You said it was light, and he reported it was like touching God. And they don't want you to know. They want to control your access to glaze that powerful. You can't just touch God without KYC. Like, they need to know who is coming to access this extremely powerful glaze, the slop creation mechanism, like the God slop, the God portal. They need to KYC access to this, and they need to limit it. They need to know you need to think about the government as controlling your access to this much power. You can't have it on your own.
What would be one of the first things that you would do with unrestricted Mythos access? Would you get glazed, or would you ask questions, or try to solve problems?
I think it all comes down to setting. I think that you want to get the right amount of glaze and the right amount of truth. You like a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Like a spoonful of glaze helps the truth absorb when you have access to this sort of technology. And I would use it to stack more Bitcoin. I mean, if you're going to have access to the most powerful computer in the world, you could use it to glaze yourself, or you could use it to stack more Bitcoin. And I think that stacking more Bitcoin, why not? Right? Like it's cheat code.
If you were accessing the glaze, would you do it by yourself, or would you want your wife present for it? Like, do you think it's appropriate to get glazed by AI? Is that almost like cheating on your wife?
I don't know. I think there's somebody said, I know somebody who thinks that if they had access to Mythos, that they would want to watch it glaze their wife. So they'd like to watch their wife get glazed by the most powerful computer. And that would be, letting Mythos shower their wife with glaze. There's people that would do that. I think people have different connections to glaze. They would use it. Everybody uses glaze a different way. Glaze is a tool.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think stacking more Bitcoin is the prudent thing to do. Use these tools for. Now the question is, are the ideas that it gives you, are they going to be glaze ideas that actually lead you further away from stacking more Bitcoin and consuming, lots of credits? Like it might tell you to do something like vibe code an educational app, which may not lead anywhere. You could start probably one of the fast tracks to start to earn a lot of Bitcoin really quickly is that there's tons of new trinket ideas that you could come up with to sell plebs. And there's I think there's a huge market for competing universities to compete with Matthew Kratter and Bitcoin University. So if you could generate a bunch of university courses and charge $790.
Right. I think this is why it is important to get in the habit of glazing adversarially and thinking about glazing adversarially and thinking about how the feds would glaze adversarially and thinking about it that way. just, distracting glaze. Think about a distracting glaze. If they wanted to distract you from something like the Epstein files, something as horrible as the Epstein files, and war wasn't good enough to distract, like, what would be? And it would be, a glaze jubilee. Think about a glaze jubilee of just glaze and circuses, bread and glaze, whatever does it for you. Kind of like an unending source of glaze for plebs. That would be enough to distract them. At least, hey, if it distracts them for a week, it's worth it. That's almost impossible to do anymore. But it seems like what Anthropic is developing has the power to basically, be the biggest possible distraction that we've had in a very long time.
Absolutely. So I just got a breaking news notification so that Iran is not going to retaliate for Israel's strikes in Beirut. Now, I think a lot of people are speculating right now if Bibi is going to try and make it harder for people to enjoy White Boy Summer by potentially torpedoing the supposed peace deals or talks that are going on right now and ruin Trump's announcement tonight.
Well, the part of this breaking announcement is that Donald Trump has declared that the peace deal with Iran does not require Iran's signature for it to be valid. So I think there'll be more details coming from this if that is correct, but it sounds like this is like a paper peace plan. And both parties are not signing this transaction. And it doesn't need to be signed by Iran, but it's still valid. So that sounds like a very innovative peace plan, something we never heard of before.
The one thing I've been surprised about is that I don't think Jared Kushner has been negotiating any of these peace deals.
This peace deal was negotiated without a Jewish lawyer?
Yeah. I mean, he's been busy building an island off somewhere with Ivanka or whatever he's doing. And, last Trump presidency, Trump glazed him a lot for going over to the Middle East and getting the Abraham Accords done. Right. And he's been kind of MIA, so I'm questioning whether or not there's any legitimacy to any of this going on, because it's kind of like trying to pass any sort of Bitcoin policy without Dennis Porter. Like in many ways, Jared Kushner is the Dennis Porter of the Middle East. So I don't know what to anticipate here. I mean, this is like where we would benefit a lot from having unrestricted Mythos access right now.
I'm not going to consider this peace deal official until Dennis Porter announces it. This is a big, big announcement. This is a very, very bullish announcement. And I will refrain from just having an opinion on it until Dennis announces.
Yeah, we'll see what the price continues to do. I think it'll be fun to watch. I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch. But, one of the big news stories that happened this past week, Rod, you were interacting with Hunter Biden on Twitter. It seems like he is taking the orange pill. Do you think, which Bitcoin podcast do you think he's listening to?
I hope he's listening to Mr. Hodl and Wicked on what Bitcoin did. Or I hope that he is listening to Ungovernable Misfits or maybe Two Angry Cunts. I hope he's not listening to Paper Bitcoin podcasts. I think that the Paper Bitcoin it's not a good example. I think he needs something a little bit more cypherpunk.
Like listening to Jack Maller's podcast, maybe Bitcoin and with David Bennett.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, what do you think, like, the Trump kids will do? What do you think if, uh, like, what is David Bailey going to do if Hunter Biden comes out and he's a hardcore cypherpunk, like, Bitcoiner, and he doesn't shitcoin, if he's Bitcoin only? Do you think the plebs will support him and rally behind him?
I don't know. It would be a very unexpected alliance. I think David Bailey hitching his wagon to Trump was not good for his stock price. Maybe Hunter Biden could resurrect it, but I think that the last thing Nakamoto shareholders want is more gesture maxing. I think they want more serious, disciplined, financial maneuvering. And I think gesture maxing on the shareholders there's no need to antagonize them further.
Hunter Biden is definitely like a dark horse that I don't think any of us expected to throw his hat into the ring and start engaging with Bitcoin Twitter at all, and could totally flip everything on its head. I mean, imagine he starts going on the Progressive Bitcoiners podcast, he starts hanging out with Dennis Porter. This could be political game theory playing out where, I mean, we're seeing things like that are happening, which I think are very unprecedented, like Steak and Shake's pivot in marketing to, cooking in tallow, accepting Bitcoin payments, for their food. Like we really, could we see maximalist culture really become a political stomping ground in a lot of ways, where individuals in the cathedral in one way or another are trying to outdo each other? It's like a purity test dick measuring contest.
It already is. It's already all it is.
I mean, could we see the cast iron skillet versus steel pans be a major political talking point in the next presidential selection?
I mean, cast iron versus steel seems like that'll come up in the primary race. And it's what's in the discussion sphere now, like what everybody's talking about is designer boots. Is it okay? When is it okay, or who's it okay for them to own your calfskin ankle boots? Because apparently Jack Mallers he's taking a lot of heat for his. Sailor taking some, but far less heat for his. So it seems to be on a curve. But one thing's for sure, nobody should be gatekeeping or purity test filtering by the clothes people wear. But if you are a pleb and you don't have at least one Bitcoin, or like the ETF equivalent of one Bitcoin, or the Swan RBX real Bitcoin equivalent of one BTC, you should not be running around in designer Italian ankle boots just because Jack Mallers is. You should. I don't even know if you should be. I don't even know if there should be plebs running around Prague if they don't have in stack at least one BTC. I think that it's getting out of control. But we have to have to set a baseline. Like, you got to at least stack one BTC before you can be having these conversations about these high priced items.
Absolutely. Well, with Bitcoin ripping and the announcement, do you think it's a good time for buckle up tweets?
Yeah, I mean, if there was going to be a buckle up tweet anytime, it would be right now with Bitcoin ripping and a peace deal. Like the straighter, if the bugs start passing through straighter or moves, I think it goes without saying, it's time to buckle up. Whether or not you get a buckle up announcement, you should be buckling up. Straighter or moves opens.
I'm going to be looking out for some buckle up tweets after we get done recording this. I think it's going to happen for sure. It's
buckle up watch. I think we're on buckle up watch.
I would say, yeah. That's the point in the cycle we're at right now. For sure. Well, one of the things that's really fascinating to me right now is, sports ball's hot. I was in a cigar lounge the other night watching some the soccer ball on TV, and I was just like astounded, why anybody calls that like a legitimate sport, because it's just every 2 seconds somebody's like flopping on the ground like a dead fish, crying. It's watching soccer is like watching plebs on Bitcoin Twitter crashing out left and right about the boots someone's wearing, or whatever. But one of the things that's astounding to me is watching sports ball get hot, in the Brendan Circus arena, and Hollywood being so abysmal right now. I think it's been a really, summer oftentimes is a time of blockbusters, of big movies, and so far it's been very disappointing for the early segment of the summer. Now we've got some ones coming out that could be big. There's the Odyssey movie, which we were talking about earlier, which there seems to be a lot of hype on. There's Dune Part 3, which there's a lot of hype about.
What do you think is going to be the number one blockbuster for this year?
I think it's those two.
A lot of it, I mean, Star Wars was a huge disappointment.
Did you watch it?
Well, let me preface, I did not watch the new Star Wars movie. I'm simply going off of announcements, and then comparisons to The Obsession, the cheap horror movie about a crazy girlfriend, and its outperformance and the poor acting by Baby Yoda.
So the clarification: Dune 3 doesn't come out till December. But yeah, I mean the Star Wars movie was it was strange. I mean a lot of the movies have just been slop movies. It's like they just kind of generated. Maybe this is like the issue, is that Hollywood has not had access to the latest Anthropic model to generate good scripts and storytelling. Maybe this is why.
Yeah, this is just another example of the stakes have never been higher. It's never been more important for you to be on your best behavior, or like at your sharpest. And Hollywood is proving that they have lost the ability to create movies and to tell stories better than AI, better than slot production, slot films. And if the hurdle rate is AI slot, and you're producing the most expensive, high production films, telling the most high production, high cost stories in the world, and you can't do it better than some AI slop, somebody with an access to a little bit of extra compute on Anthropic, you're going to be disrupted. I mean, this is just absolutely bad sign for Netflix. I mean, not Netflix. I guess Netflix can run the slop, but the movie production studios, Disney, Universal, all the Paramount, etc.
Yeah. I mean, I think like the hottest producer right now is probably Taylor Sheridan, famous for Yellowstone and all of the. And it just seems like they're doing a new split off like every few months. They're just like, how many like Yellowstone TV shows can we do? And
Yellowstone slop. You're going to be competing with Yellowstone slop. It's coming for everything.
Yeah, I mean, Yellowstone slop seems to be kind of like the pinnacle of stuff that's being created at the moment. And so, I mean, the question that I have in mind, like, a while ago, I predicted the summer was going to be really fiery. The plebs are going to get mad, and, they were going to start picking up their pitchforks and going to the streets. It's actually been an astoundingly quiet summer. I mean, there's been some people raging and crashing out in New Jersey. There's been some of that. I mean, it seems like some deranged California middle school teacher tries to shoot the president, once a week or once every other week. Mike Brock's been crashing out, writing a lot of essays, trying to save democracy. But it's been a very, like, considering the conditions of what's going on right now, it's been a really quiet, peaceful summer for the most part, which I hadn't anticipated.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it will continue to be that way unless Hollywood picks up the pace a little bit and creates something.
I tell you who's crashing out right now. The Bear Chat. The Bear Chat is in total disbelief. They absolutely refuse to believe that this peace deal with Iran is legitimate. But right now, my timeline is full of peace announcements. And I'm not just seeing peace announcements from the usual suspects. I'm seeing peace announcements from the Iran slop accounts, the Iranian TV video accounts, the BRICS, all the propaganda accounts that are normally, saying that Iran won the war and that Trump should be embarrassed or calling out, fake news when it comes to these peace deals. Even they're saying that the peace deal is legitimate. The only people who don't seem to believe it right now is the Bear Chat. So this might be their crash out summer.
Let's hope so. That's about as good as summer can get, where you go outside to grill the hot dogs, get mosquito bites, walk back inside, Bitcoin price is up. I mean, it's just, it is fun in the summer to, when you're listening to Bitcoin podcasts instead of, listening to macro podcasters cope about how the Fed is going to start printing eventually. Listening to Lynn Alden interviews, hearing nothing stops his train, with a lot of bullish sentiment, hearing a lot of price predictions. Price predictions are fun. Like waking up in the morning and actually wanting to listen to the slop on Simply Bitcoin because it's just bullish announcement after bullish announcement. I mean, it's just, in the bear market, there's been a tremendous amount of bullish announcements, but they're decoupled from the price. And so when bullish announcements recouple with the price, it's a good time.
It is a good time. It's going to be a great 4th of July. While things are going good in the United States, which is kind of the center of the world, things are bleak in the land of the Europors. All of the people who could afford to get out of Europe this summer and come to the United States to watch Sportsball are here. And there's a lot of videos out there of Europeans going to Waffle House and going to American football stadiums, seeing like the fighter jets do the flyovers, stealth bombers do flyovers before games. They get to go on to hotels and Airbnbs with ice cold air conditioning just pumping through the house. Meanwhile, immigrants are getting, ripped out of their houses, and the Irish are going crazy in Belfast right now. And we're seeing this across Europe. Native, people from different European countries are really starting to chimp out themselves, and they're chimping out on the immigrants, and they're beating the shit. It is a viral trend right now. Broccoli haircuts beating the shit out of immigrants in Europe. They're not even watching the World Cup. Like, they can't even distract them with the World Cup. Like, that's how bad it's getting in Europe.
I mean, do you think this is a game of 4D chess of trying to, in a roundabout way, raise the testosterone and get people to actually stand up for themselves? Is, if there's one thing that unites people, it's a common enemy, right?
Right. Immigrants are really becoming the punching bag of increasingly, like, adhesive It's communities are getting very adhesive, and the dominant ones are really starting to flex their muscles. People are starting to realize if they can narrow in on a common enemy and really lock in, that they could win. And people would just want to feel victory, and they want to feel win in their life right now. And this is a very tangible, very high feedback way of feeling like they control something in their lives.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like the pedophilic ruling class, I think, is smart, and instead of plebs getting mad at central bankers, getting mad at central control over the economy, getting mad at the people that are telling them that they can't smoke on airplanes, getting mad at the tax man, or these various things, they give them a whole different party that is rather defenseless in a lot of ways to get mad at. It's like, Jose comes to America and is willing to make your house cheaper by not asking for health insurance and or time off, and getting paid a low wage, doing a job that most people don't want to do, and you can't even have a bank account to buy paper Bitcoin with, and or KYC Bitcoin on strike, and the only Bitcoin he could buy is at like a Bitcoin ATM with cash, which he has to pay like a 20% fee for to send a remittance home. And he becomes the enemy instead of pedophile ruling class. Like, I mean, it's seems like a smart tactic to me if that was like intentionally deployed, and I don't know if it is, but I mean, it does seem like across the whole Western world right now, the plebs of the bowl chasing the red cape, and the matador just pulled the red cape back, and they're just flailing trying to get that red cape, and they're getting slashed from the side by swords over and over and over again.
Yeah. How's your white guy summer been going? Despite all the crazy, some bullish, some bearish developments of society, how's white guy summer going for you?
Oh, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. Just been doing all sorts of fun things, and spent a lot of time outside. I've got a lot of mosquito bites on me. I mean, I've got like big welts all over my body, and I think that's a good sign that I'm doing things correctly. Not mad at BB at all. Seems like he's trying to make me mad at him. But I'm not going to give him the time of day. And
leave BB on red. Yeah. This is the perfect time to leave BB on red. You don't have to check BB's DMs. You don't have to read the headlines and see, oh, look, Israel's trying to get my attention, get me to crash out and stop enjoying my white guy summer. It's not working. It's just not working. I mean, reports right before this peace deal came out, or like Israel's trying to sabotage it. It was one final attempt to distract people from white guy summer. It's just not working. We're just trudging forward, taking personal accountability, putting, tallow cream on our big giant mosquito bite welts. I got, putting aloe on my neck and my ears because I forgot to put suntan lotion on there. I got some sunburns, and eating all beef frank hot dogs. It's a great time. Go to the lake, go to the beach, wherever you go hiking. If you live in the mountains, go see movies, go see bluegrass music, go to lake, go camping, go fishing, mow your lawn, get poison ivy. Do whatever it takes to not crash out about BB.
I mean, I think like the Bitcoin podcast crash outs has bottomed out, and it seems like the sentiment's pretty good amongst the podcasters right now. People are, getting more bullish. They're getting, they had their like identity crisis, and they rallied. Some of the ones that couldn't handle it, they're gone now, and Yeah, it's been good, but yeah, do things like go to your local farmers market and you convince the meat guy to sell you steaks for Bitcoin, and go grill steaks on the grill, or good quality hot dogs. Phoenix Ammunition selling ammo for Bitcoin. That's pretty cool. He was on Max's podcast. That was a good listen to. He's a Bitcoin bull. And yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to enjoy White Guy Summer. I mean, I've been enjoying. I mean, have you been enjoying it? What have you been up to?
Yeah, same thing. Just being outside, fixing fences, staying in decks, mowing lawns, going to barbecues, eating hot dogs, getting poison ivy, getting some. Using a pen to draw a circle around my mosquito bites that I've been itching really hard. Make sure that the red part doesn't grow like a bullseye. Make sure I don't get one of those ticks that Marty Bent is talking about, that the college professors are releasing into society to make you allergic to steak.
Totally.
Things like that.
Well, cool. You got anything before rolling these fountain boosts?
Yeah, now I think that's it.
I think it might be time for me to read Atlas Shrugged again. That might be a good way to...
There you go.
Go read it with the mosquitoes outside. Get destroyed. First boost, late stage hodl, 6,006 sats says all children should be given a killdozer for their 15th birthday so they get a year to practice before they turn 18 or turn 16. I was doing the math there. Didn't make sense. Do you think all children? Should all children be able to get a killdozer, or should it just be like, what do you think about pleb children?
Well, I think it's not the killdozer that does property damage and harms, potentially poses harm to people. It's the driver. So I think as long as you raise your child, your pleb, right, I think that there's no reason why the state should impinge on its right to, your kid's right to drive a killdozer.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to educate your children on like the difference between like a state building and what type of state buildings are good to potentially force renovation for with a killdozer, and like what the neighbor's building it. Like, you don't want to your kid to go bulldozing like their ex-girlfriend's house. You know what I mean? Or
right, and it's like, if they, regardless, if a commercial building or whatever gets some damage, that's what insurance is for. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about it. You should have the right to a killdozer in the United States of America, and I think that it's pretty sad that some red states don't even recognize that. The next one.
You sound like a Black Lives Matter protester.
That's not intentional.
Well,
5,000 sats from Lokes. I'll have whatever Shinobi's having. That is a questionable life decision.
Sounds retarded to me. Sasha, 5,000 sats says, great show. Looking forward to cooking with Shinobi too. Laughing emoji. I think it could be a fun show. The show I want to see Shinobi on a Shinobi Bachelor episode.
Yes, absolutely. Shinobi. Yeah. Stacked Euro, 2,100 sats. I think there's a link between Nosterides being declared dead and Bitcoin price being low. Value for value will still persist, finding real signal in the Bugle, particularly in easy stacking times. That's a good attitude to have, Stack Cheryl.
Yeah. Glad you're finding signal here. Tell your friends. Credentials matter. Tell
your friends to glaze the Bugle.
We're not using the AI models to glaze ourselves, so we appreciate glaze for our boosters. Jolly Roger, 1,307 sats says, appreciate your insights on prediction markets. Now the challenge is finding signal. Yeah, I've been placing bets on predicts recently. I need to go look at what I had. The last one, which was interesting, I bet that Swan wasn't going to win their lawsuit against Tether, and I think they resolved it too early. based on a simply slot tweet. And
That's the Oracle problem, right? Like, if your prediction markets are using pleb slop or it's their Oracle, that's a risk. Now, we'll see. Even if it plays out that Swan loses, that's more liquidity left on the table.
There seems like there's a really potentially easy win. I mean, there seems like there's a lot of ability to win on predicts because there isn't as much liquidity on there. And so when you have major moves and anything happen quickly, like right now, there's a 41% chance that Bitcoin will reach a price of 50,000 before it reaches a price of 70,000. And with it running like it is, it seems like that's a layup, but who knows? Dude Satoshi 521 sats says, thank you for your time. No, thank you.
Silas Thornbrook, one of our favorite fans, 121 sats. White Boy Summer, boosty boost. Cheers, gentlemen. And the ever good-looking Kaylee Welch, heart smile kiss emoji. Silas Thornbrook has a big crush on Kaylee. So, what's Kaylee up to during White Boy Summer?
She's been farting around with eCash a bunch, and she came in the office, had a ton of she like wanted to show me her tits and like how many mosquito bites she had on them. She's really proud. And I told her I wasn't comfortable with that, and she called me a pussy, and then asked me if I was gay or something. I said no, I just don't think my wife would appreciate. Like I look at tits with mosquito bites on them all the time, but I thanked her for offering me and whatever, but it hurt. I think she was kind of pissed. She had to go and bail out her mom. Her mom got arrested for DUI, and one of our listeners was wanting to go out with her mom and didn't have the opportunity to because she was in jail for the night. And so she was like, it just like sucks. Like when the price is down and you have to go bail your mom out, it just hurts that much more because you could have been stacking instead of bailing her out. And, she was also pissed because it's like, you should be able to drive drunk responsibly when you're an adult. And like when your parent isn't able to drive drunk responsibly and gets arrested, like it's just kind of a shitty situation to deal with, especially during White Boy Summer. But she's doing good. Nostr Gang 101 sat says killdozers are for pioneers. Totally.
ATC on board, old faithful, 100 sats, 2 thumbs up.
We missed a boost from last week that I wanted to read. Sir Spencer last week boosted us 6,969 sats. Said shout out to my Asian niggas. Sorry for missing that, Sir Spencer. Sir Spencer is the host of the awesome podcast, Bowl After Bowl, longtime value for value contributor. Always great having him engage with the show. So I just want to read that quick. But, big shout out. Thank you to our boosters, Jolly Roger, Jason C. used to read a lot, Dave, Lahav, Shadrack, BTC on board, Boomer, Sasha, Fundamentals, Sean, Late Stage Huddles, Open Mic, and Avi Burra. Lahav's working on the music festival happening here in just a few days. Revolution Rocks. If you're in Europe, check it out. Not too far away from BTC Prague. It's happening in Belgrade, Serbia. And then, Fundamentals been cranking away on his podcast. Listen to Goomba crash out on the recent math podcast. And that was fun. Did you catch that one?
I don't think so. It's on my list, though. I need to add it to my list.
Well, you got any other thoughts before we wrap this show up?
Yeah, I think if we got, 4th of July is coming up, shooting off fireworks, glazing with your family members, getting mosquito bites. It's going to be a great 4th of July. a bullish 4th of July. I hope there's fireworks on the time, or fireworks on the chart and in your life.
Folks, thank you for tuning in to another edition of Bugle Weekly, and we'll catch you next week.
Sunset glows, who'll grill hot dogs in the backyard while the evening breeze blows. We'll watch the stars come out as the lightning bugs roam. He'll rescue me from this cubicle and bring me home. I wanna see the sweat glisten on his shirtless chest, the muscles rippling, watching him be his best. I wanna laugh about mosquito bites and stay outside too long.